back YouTube for another episode of Views from the Underground with your host, Decal the Titan. And today I have a special guest today, and her name is Meilani.
Hey!
Alright, so Meilani, I know you're into a lot of different things. So I know you've done radio.
Yes.
I know you've done acting.
Yes.
And I currently hear that you're going in singing again.
Yeah, it's been a passion of mine since I was about 3. I was the only child of my mother's.
Okay.
So I used to have this little microphone that was black and it had a white top. I'm sorry, it was yellow. And I had 2 of them because I was just that special.
Oh, okay.
I would get in front of everybody. There was 5 of us that lived in the house. And at 6 o'clock on the dot, as the news was starting, it was the Meilani show. I didn't care about the news. It was about me. So I was singing for them. I was dancing and everything. So my mom started to put me into a dance studio, the Turning Point, where I was dancing from age 3 to 12 because she told me I was just too much for her.
Future investment, right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Me and my long legs, I'm 5'9", so I had to put them to use.
Now, can you tell our fans where to find your music?
Oh boy, I've got a YouTube page that's Black Goddess 35 because I'm just that gorgeous and I'm a goddess. Come on now. And then SoundCloud with my name, which is Meilani. I changed it so it's just very simple. Okay. And I also have a Facebook page. I've released it on other venues, but my producer has done that, so I'm not sure exactly where it is, but I'm sure you can find it if you Google it.
Don't worry, we'll make sure the fans have a link.
Okay.
That way they'll be able to find it. Don't worry, I got y'all.
I think one is on like CD Baby or something. I don't know. He done thrown out names at me. I don't know.
Okay. All right, now the one song I've heard recently that I love because it takes me back to the 90s era. And I always highlight the 90s because to me that's when it was at its most pure. Mm-hmm. And that's your single Cherry Rain. Now, when I listen to that song, it sounds like it's about someone. Can you tell me what went into the song? What was the thought process behind it?
See, and this is going on YouTube, so he probably gonna see it now. But the guy I was dating at the time, he thought it was about him, but it wasn't. Okay. It was about a guy who I had musically fell in love with. Like, he was my music soulmate. And every time I was singing Cherry Rain, like I think about those times that we had together, like in the studio, how we had that connection. And so that's where Cherry Rain's inspiration was. And I came to my producer, Mr. Fountaine, and was like, this is what I'm loving this track, let's do it. And we sat there and did it in one setting. It wasn't even like we got it done that day. Like, we wrote it, recorded it, was like, all right, we're gonna edit it, and within like 2 days it was golden. And we're just like, this is beautiful. And you didn't have to do much to it. So, but 90s, that influence is just beautiful. And that's all I'm trying to do, is just that influence on 90s.
All right. So speaking of influences, that was going to be my next question. So what are some of your main influences? My
main is Aaliyah. Okay. I was born and raised on her. She came out in '94, and all I wanted to do was be like Lily. That's my baby. Like, she came out, it's Friday, with the nails and doing the belly rolls. Yes.
Back and forth.
My mother owned the CD, so that was my girl. But I grew up, my family's very eclectic with music. So I grew up with gospel. So, like the Clark sisters. My mother's a very big Prince, and my grandmother's a Michael Jackson fan. But MJ and Luther Vandross, those were my male compadres in music. But when it comes to females, Jill Scott, okay. I wish I could sing as deep as her. And
no,
Jasmine
you get
Sullivan.
there. Like, when you all hear Cherry Rain, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. Because that's exactly what I felt when I heard it.
And Jasmine Sullivan, if you are not hip to Jasmine Sullivan's range, even if you don't care for, just listen to her range. Her range is phenomenal. She's probably one of the most talented people of our time. India Reed has even come a long way. She's become an influence of mine over the years. And I saw her with Stevie Wonder, Stevie Wonder is the best musician in the world. If anybody tries to tell you different, they are telling you wrong, okay? I cried at this man's concert when he came to the Palace, doing Songs of Key of Life, my favorite album. I cried. And I'm gonna admit this. I know it's gonna be on, but I took a book from the library that has the entire Stevie discography sheet music.
Oh, okay.
And I learned how to play it on the bass. Like, I sat there and I learned them notes verbatim because that's how much I love Stevie.
Yeah, and like when I think about your songs, like even Persona, I hear a lot of passion and emotion in it. And I think that's sometimes what draws people in and makes it relevant and keeps it positive.
Right.
Because not everybody does that in their music. You know, it doesn't sound like you're in it for a paycheck, which I think is very big. Yeah.
Music is my life, and it was at one point, I can't even remember what song it was. Actually, it was Mr. So-and-so. And my producer was really mean to me. I think he was mean. But to get the emotion, because I was still trying to deal with a breakup that was really, really bad, he put the person's face in the booth with me.
Wow.
He put it on the stand and said, sing to him. This is who hurt you. Sing to him. And this is who he left you for. Look at these pictures and sing to that. And I almost was crying, but we got the emotion. We got what we wanted. And my sorority sisters are even like, who did you sing that about? That song's amazing. That helped me get through a breakup. Like, and that's what I want. I want people to be influenced. I want people to be inspired, and I want people to relate. I'm not here to get paid. If I never get paid for singing, I'm totally fine with that, but that's my passion.
Yeah, well, we want you to get paid because we want to get CDs. Okay.
I want some money, but I'll do it because I love it. I'm never that type of person that's going to be like, no, I'm getting all this money. You know, I'm going to forget where I come from. That's not me at all. Never will be.
Okay. So I always ask my guests, you know, who are their top 5 at the current moment, and usually I say underground. But because you do R&B, I know it's kind of hard to find a few of the underground artists that do R&B. So just tell me your personal top 5 right now.
Well, of course, Jasmine. I would have to say Tinashe. Her music, she may not be the best vocalist, but her lyrics are very deep. Okay. Very deep. I still think Aaliyah's current. I don't care what nobody says. Aaliyah will always be current because everybody's biting off of her. Beehive, don't come after me. I can't say Beyonce. Don't ask me for that because her last CD to me was just old Beyonce. Yes, her last CD, no. Like that last CD, I was just like, these lyrics. Except for Crazy in Love, the 50 Shades of Grey. I'm in love with that song. And Jhené Aiko. I love Jhené Aiko too. And yeah, I have 6. And SZA. She's part of Top Dog Entertainment. And she is the sole female vocalist, the sole female of that entire group. And that's, you know, if you don't know TDE, that's Kendrick Lamar, Ab-Soul, Schoolboy Q, J-Rock, and there's another guy that no one ever hears about. And then there's SZA. Like you just don't hear about him, so nobody really knows his name. But those are my 6. Like you can take Aaliyah out technically, but SZA will replace her. But Jhené and SZA and Jasmine, those are my top 3.
And yeah, and when you mention TDE, that's a great collection of different artists and different sounds. But you're a part of a movement too.
I am Lone Wolf Jupiter.
That's right. So tell me what got you involved in Lone Wolf Jupiter and kind of how it came about in your own opinion.
Well, me and Sonny were sitting and we're just like, we have this like golden music. We're sitting there listening to the instrumentals that he was doing and that Jay was doing, and then Jay brought on S.T.R.A.P, and we're like, wait a minute, we've got gold here.
Right.
We can't not say like, oh, we can't just sit here and just not do anything about this. We have to expose the world to great music and pure music, not just some, oh, I'm making music just so I can get paid. We have actual music that means something, that has depth, that has lyrics. Like S.T.R.A.P is one of the most brilliant lyricists I have met of my age group. I haven't even, he's phenomenal. Like he touches something and it's just amazing. Sonny, he produces something like the things that even he's just messing around on the computer and he has an instrumental, and I'm just like, this is amazing. Make me this loop. I want this song. And it's the same thing with Jay. Like, so we sat and we were like, we need to come together as a group and we need to start putting out stuff. Like, we need to be on this track. Even if, you know, for me, we just underground, we still making it and putting out pure music and we're not selling out. That's all the Lone Wolf Jupiter is. We are pure music. We are talent. Don't try to say otherwise because you're gonna be a hater, because we know we're not putting out crap. We're working hard on what we do. We're all skilled at what we do and we've put in years for our craft. And we are passionate about it. That's what sets us apart from everybody else. We're passionate and we mean business. We're like, this is what we have to say and we gonna tell you what our story is.
Right, and it seems like it's not one particular target market. Like, you can put your music out and it seems to draw everybody.
Yep, it's a little of everything. Like, you know, Sonny, as much as I don't like it, he started me with pop. And I actually kind of like it. He's got a couple dance tracks and I'm like, all right, I guess I like it now. But like you said, it's everybody. It's not just one person. And it's just, and there's so many different artists. We even have somebody that's in Australia and his beats are phenomenal. I mean, he pulls from all different types of influences. It's not just one genre.
Yeah, I can definitely say when it comes to the instrumentals, like, that sells me before the songs even start. Right? It's like, oh, okay, we're doing this.
we get up in group and like, all right, this is the new instrumental I've got, and I'm just listening to this like, oh, I'm just gonna play this on my phone, and that's what I do. I'll sit and I'll be showering, I'll be like, okay, making up melodies, figuring out me and Sonny get in the studio, and it's done. Now, can you do a song on the spot? Let's say if something's playing and something starts up, can you immediately register something to it? Yep. Okay. I do it all the time, and then like, I've always been, for whatever reason, melodies will stick with me. I've learned melodies better than I learned in school. I don't know how I do it, but I can tell you what a song is in 2.5 seconds. I'm like, oh, that's Michael Jackson, Lady of My Life. Da 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 da. Like, but that's just me. Right. Okay. All right. Now, Meilani, what advice would you give somebody looking to do what it is that you do? Stay true to yourself. Do not let anybody try to tell you that you can't tell your story. Because, you know, I'm a survivor of a lot of things and I'm still here against all odds. And use music as a positive outlet, because there's a lot of girls that I know that are struggling with things, and boys, you know, with sexuality or depression or X, Y, and Z, and they don't have positive outlets. Just let music be your, I guess, not savior, but like your sanctuary. That's what I turn to. And if you want to make it, be true to yourself. Stay true to yourself. I mean, Jasmine Sullivan, they were trying to make her sell out, and she left for 3 years from the industry. And she's like, nope, if I'm not doing it on my own terms, I'm not doing it. And that's what you have to do sometimes. So just stay true to yourself, and don't let anybody tell you different. All right. All right. Now, last time I spoke to Sonny backstage, he said you all were coming out with some music videos. Oh, yeah. So if you had to choose one song you personally want to knock out a music video for, what single is that going to be? Cherry Rain. Cherry Rain. Okay. I mean, you could just see like leaves falling or snow and just, feels so good. Yes. Like, that's Cherry Rain to me. I mean, rain. And then rain's my favorite type of like climate change, so. Spring or going into the snow? Because you know we're here in Michigan. No, I hate snow. No, good. Spring. Spring like that. Even though it smells like worms in Michigan, but I still like, you know, the smell of fresh rain, and it's calming and going to sleep, or like you just stand out there and watch it. And I'm a fire sign. I don't understand why I like water so much, but I love rain. But Cherry Rain, if we can do the Cherry Rain, I'll do Cherry Rain. Like the other ones, you know, I love them, but Cherry Rain's my baby. All right. All right. Well, I'm going to thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. Definitely. No problem. Appreciate you, honestly, just taking out the time to sit with me. Definitely a fan of your music. Thank you. And YouTube, I will have all the links provided at the bottom. And as always, thank you and look forward to next week's episode.